Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, it is currently, let's see, 1:41 a.m. on this beautiful Saturday going into Sunday morning. It is currently 73 degrees outside, clear skies, feels like 73. And tomorrow it will be 91 degrees and fully sunny. Let's see how it describes it. Sunny skies, high 91 degrees Fahrenheit, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Perfect pool day tomorrow. But that depends on what time we get back from brunch and running some errands and things like that. So how are you guys doing? My husband just got home. He actually ended up going to his friend's house for like a game night. And I didn't care because I was so tired. And he was like, do you care if I go? I was like, go, go babe, because I want to make some little sandwiches and watch a game show or two on Game Show Network. And then I want to take a nap, and then I want to get up and vlog. And so I have it ready for tomorrow. And then I want to watch a couple shows on my iPad, because I have 3 episodes of Only Murders in the Building. I have 1 episode of The Old Man, and I have 1 episode of Loot to watch. So I have 5 shows. And then tomorrow and Monday, we'll probably catch up on all of our shows. I think we have 2 episodes of Real Housewives of Dubai. We have Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, and then we also have the Ultimate Girls Trip that just started the 2nd season, which Tanya told me tonight that she was watching, and that was fantastic, and I think the first 2 episodes of that are out. So we have like 8 shows to watch. So we'll probably just like boom, 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 and get those out. Yeah, so I'm not going to vlog for a long time tonight because I do want to watch these shows, and I don't want to get to bed super late tonight. I know you guys are like super late. It's already 1:40 in the morning and you're just vlogging now. I know. So but I don't want to vlog for a super long time tonight. After Alex left, I was like still like getting my videos done, and then I made on the King's Hawaiian bread. I made 2 of my cheese sandwiches. I used my Gouda. Well, actually, Alex ran me back to Fresh Time tonight so that I could get more of this delicious pasta. He went in with me too, got some stuff, but chips and stuff for tomorrow. We're just like hanging out at the house tomorrow night. I don't know what else he got, because he just brought the bags in and put them in the pantry. I think he bought like 2 bags of chips, maybe some salsa, something like that. He loves chips and salsa. But I bought some more of this pasta salad. I bought actually a different kind of pasta salad. It's called like, oh shoot, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, that they have at Trader Joe's. And then I got more Harvest cheddar sun chips. I got another bag of the Kettle barbecue chips that I got. What else did I get? I got some new coffees that I wanted to try that they had in cans and stuff. And then I feel like I got something else. Oh, I got these little lemon tarts, and I put those, are those the ones I put in the refrigerator? I put those in the refrigerator. And then I got these like crispy cookies, and they're like salted caramel, and they're like bigger. They're like that big. They also have them in chocolate chip, so I got those to have. I'm like kind of full right now though, honestly, because I ate 2 sandwiches, and then the containers of pasta salad are really small. They're like single servings. So I ate like an entire container of pasta salad, and then I had some chips, and I also got lemonade, the freshly squeezed lemonade at Fresh Time. Did I say Trader Joe's? I meant Fresh Time. At Fresh Time. So I had a big glass of, in my crystal cut plastic cup, I got a big glass of lemonade. And so I drank the lemonade, and then I had that, and I watched the end of America's Choice, like the last couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes of an episode, and then I watched an entire episode, and then I watched the beginning of Family Feud, and then I took Little Dog outside to run around, and I was calling Tanya because the beginning of Family Feud was so funny. I love that show. I just love game shows. They make me so happy. But at the beginning of Family Feud tonight, it was like these two guys, you know, like when you go up and it's like the people go up and then they have to like, you know, buzz the buzzer to see who gets it first. The question was, and it was this guy that was like probably my age and then a guy that was like 20. And the question was, what is something that your grandma would tell the family that would surprise everyone? And the younger guy buzzed in first and he said that she's a lesbian. And so I was like watching it to see like what if the answer would be up there. And it was like the number 2 answer. And I don't know why. I was like, oh my God. And so I was telling Tanya this, and the answer on Family Feud said, she's gay / likes coochie. I was like, oh my God. So that was the Family Feud. And then I took little dog, little Boo Radley, outside, and he ran around. He likes to run to the 5, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. He'll like sometimes like dart across the street and then to the neighbors, and then he like, he's so silly. There's like 5 mailboxes, including ours, that he goes to and catches up on the news of the neighborhood. Somebody told me a long time ago that dogs like to sniff the mailboxes because it's kind of like where other dogs like pee there, they get to like read the newspaper. Or did you guys ever hear that analogy before? And it's funny because you can, like, little dog's so scared, he doesn't know. I mean, you think about this, like, he doesn't know more than the world than like our backyard, our front yard, and like the kennel, like that's in the car, like that's all he knows, right? And so it's like he hasn't been to tons of places. I was wondering this one night, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder if dogs, like how, like what they're dreaming is like, because you know dogs dream, because you can, like, sometimes when they're running in their sleep and they're like their legs are going like that. Have you ever had a dog that does that? It's like one of the sweetest things. Or they'll like in their sleep they'll be like and it's like, I wonder if they're just dreaming about our backyard because like that's what they know, or if they're dreaming of some far off place that their mind makes up, which would be so interesting to know, like on a whole other physiological level, that dogs have the ability to, which I can't imagine that they wouldn't. I mean, humans do, right? But we have all these sources like television, magazines, Instagram, all these things where we can kind of like make up areas and see things. But like dogs don't really have that, right? So where would this creative process of their mind, their brain, come up with these other areas that they would like be running, or, you know, some field that they saw? So it would all be from experience, right? So is every dream that they have exclusive to what they know? Like, I wonder that. But anyway, but it's funny because Boo Radley won't go past our neighbor's driveway down here. And there's like this little ravine. It kind of like goes down and back up. And it's probably, I'd say like 30 feet across, and maybe like 30 or 50 feet deep. Not deep, but like 30 to 50 feet across, 30 to 50 feet, you know, deep this way. And it goes down like 10 feet and comes up the other side to our other neighbor's yard. And there's like trees in there. It's like woodsy area kind of. And Boo Radley will like stand and he'll just kind of like look at it sometimes. And I always kind of wonder like if he sees like an animal in there or something. But like he'll just stand there and like look. And sometimes he growls and sometimes he just like turns and walks away. But he will never go past like the halfway mark of our neighbor's driveway. And they also have like grass on the other side that like goes into this ravine. But he won't ever go over there. And then our neighbor Laura, her mailbox goes into this big yard, which during the day, he'll like run into the yard from our backyard. He doesn't care, right? But at night, like, I think he's kind of a scared little dog. And so he like won't wander into that yard at all. He goes to our mailbox and he goes around the mailbox and smells just big rock by our mailbox, and he'll smell all around the rock and stuff like that. But he won't go like even into her driveway. And he won't go to any of the neighbors down there either. He just goes to the ones that like these 5, including ours right here. This is a small little world. So it's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. When we used to go to Disney World when I was a kid, that was like my favorite ride to do. I would want to do it like over and over and over again. My dad would get so tired of it and he would make fun of it. And I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, is that what we called it? Yeah, I loved that show that ride when I was a kid. I remember because I don't like rides, and I remember there was like this, it was, you know, all just like this floating river kind of thing. But then there was this one area where it's like you went just down, and it was like 5 feet maybe that you just kind of like dropped a little bit, and I thought that was real exciting. I mean, like at 12, I thought that was exciting. I'm like, that's about as exciting as it gets for me. I don't like roller coasters at all. My dad, when I was a kid, my dad loved roller coasters. We would go to Kings Island and he would be like, no, you're going to ride these. And I can remember one year he never made me do like, he wasn't ever like, you're going to go on these, but he would be like, no, you can handle this one. This one's not scary. And I remember they had like a blue and red racer back in the day. I don't know if they still have it, but it would go forwards and backwards. And I don't remember being like super scared on it. I just remember not liking it. And after that, he never like, he was like, you can handle this one, I think. This one's not that bad. I think if I saw it today, I'd be like, that was what I was so afraid of back then. But I mean, yeah, I've never in my life liked roller coasters or any of that kind of stuff. Alex loves them. He loves roller coasters. In fact, when we first got together, he and I and two of his friends, like the summer after we started dating, we went to Kings Island, and they have a water park too. And I do love water parks, but I won't do like anything like real serious at a water park, like any big like slide or anything like that. But I'll do like the lazy river. I do love a good lazy river, and I like the pool where it gets like wavy, like the wavy pool. But we went down there, and I can remember I would stand in line with them, literally, like, this was before fast passes and stuff like that. I would stand in line with them for like an hour for them to get on like some ride like the Beast. And then they would go do the ride for 2 minutes, and I would like stand to the side while they did the ride, and then we would go to the next ride. You want to talk about love? That was love right there. I wouldn't do that today. I wouldn't. I'd be like, and I think like after like an hour or two, I was like, not like after an hour or two, because that would have been 2 rides, but like after a while, I was like, I'm going to go to the water park. You guys can just meet me over there. And I did that, and I went to the water park by myself. That was probably a trip I shouldn't have even gone on. They just went down for the day and came back. I can just remember it being like, I like amusement parks, but there's just nothing for me to do, you know? So, anyway, and I think I just got on the lazy river and just floated until they came over there. I don't even remember. Do you know what's so funny is, so I like watching on YouTube abandoned amusement parks. I've actually talked about this quite a bit on here, on my vlog back in the day. So if you've watched my vlog from the beginning or for a long time, you'll remember me talking about this. But when I was a kid, my dad and I went to Disney World. And it was just the two of us. And I would have been real young, and it would have been after my parents separated. So I would have been like 7 maybe, or 8. And I'll look it up in just a second to see what year it closed. Because I can remember talking about this like in a vlog, and people literally commented and said, I don't think that ever existed at Disney World. I don't know what you're remembering. And there are actually videos on YouTube that people have gone into this water park and shown where it existed, and it was called River Country. And I can remember my dad and I like driving in, and it was like dirt roads, and then you parked, and then you took like, I feel like we either, like I feel like I kind of have both memories. So maybe we like walk to a certain point, and then they like pick you up on like a tractor pulled, like, you know, what's it called? Like a hay ride kind of thing. It had like hay on it and whatever. And then it took you to the water park. I mean, it was all like that kind of theme of like, you know, back, like on the river kind of thing, you know, like Huck Finn kind of stuff. And I can remember like showing up there, and it was like the coolest thing in the entire world. It was like sand. This water park had sand like in this thing, and there's actually like videos of when it existed, and you can get online and you can look at what River Country looked like. But it was literally supposed to be like this water park was like a river, and it was all fresh water. It wasn't salt water, and it wasn't like pool water. It was like river water and whatever. And supposedly they closed it down because like these amoebas got in there and people were getting sick from it. And there was like this urban legend, because somebody did comment about this and I looked into it. There was this urban legend that was like that it was like this zombie amoeba brain eating deal that got into River Country, and they closed it down. But it was part of Disney. Disney owned it, I think. And I can remember being there, and I can remember like climbing the side of this thing and it was like all sand, and like you felt like you were in the middle of this river. It was the weirdest thing, like if you were like floating down the river and stuff like that. But anyway, there are these videos that these people have gone into river country. Here, I'm gonna like look up river country on YouTube. River country, Disney World. The first video that pulls up is called Abandoned, Disney's River Country, 2.3 million views 2 years ago. River Country Abandoned Hotel, we didn't stay there. Disney closes its water park, the reason why it's creepy. Disney's Forgotten Water Park, Abandoned River Country. Disney's River Country, Lost in the Wilderness. Disney's River Country 2000. The Abandoned History of Disney's River. I don't know that I've seen all these. I'm gonna have to watch them. But like here, Disney's River Country 1981. So I would have been 9 years old. Maybe I was that old. I don't know. Like when you go and you look at it, like it shows like video of like what it looked like at that point. Like that's what I remember. But they have all of this like they have these the Mouseketeers at River Country. 8 Things I Won't Do Again in Disney World. Disney's Abandoned River Country 2018. Could Disney's closed River Country ride be perfect place for gators? Oh Lord. The Truth About River Country. These get tons of views on them, you guys. 10 Most Disturbing Abandoned Disney Theme Parks. So anyway, what year did River, it just pulled up, River Phoenix die? What year did River Country open? June 20th, 1976, I would have been 4. Marked the opening of River Country, the first water park at Walt Disney World Resort. In the 25 years that followed, approximately 4,000 guests would arrive daily to splash, soak, and sun at the park until its closing in September of 2001. Okay, so which is so funny because my ex and I, we went to, I can't remember where we went. I think it was Naples, Florida, and like one day I was like talking to him about River Country, just assuming it was still open, right? And I was like, I really want to go to this River Country again. Like I have really good memories of it from when I was a kid and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, okay, we can go. And so we like drove, like we got up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and we drove. We couldn't find River Country when we like looked it up. And so it was like Splash Mountain or something like that was open. But anyway, so we went to that instead. And I can remember we drove like 3 hours, and by the time that we got there, it was like already to capacity. So we had to come back like for the afternoon, and we had to like wait. And we went to downtown Disney, which is like a really cool area. And we went and ate at like the river, not river. We went and ate at like the Rainforest Cafe, I think was there. If it wasn't that, it was something like that. And, oh, my battery's at the halfway mark. Darn it. But anyway, I can remember, like, he was real bitter. He didn't want to be at this water park. And so we stayed, like, a couple hours. And he was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to be at this water park. I don't want to be at this water park anymore. I don't like water parks. I was like, well, you didn't say that before we left. But anyway, there's always sounds out here, you guys. What year did River Phoenix die? (1993) October. He was 23 in 1993, so he was like 2 years older than me. You guys, what is so funny about this is, are these his brothers and sisters? Yeah, Rain. They were all, Joaquin Phoenix was his brother, and I don't know if, like, unless you're my age, you probably don't remember River Phoenix, but I was like obsessed with him. I think he was like really my first like big crush. Like in junior high. Like I can remember like I can remember even like getting like the magazines, like, you know, where he would be like interviewed in them and stuff like that. And I watched all of the movies with him. Running on Empty. I remember the Life and Times of Jimmy something. I used to watch all of the River Phoenix movies. I don't feel like they ever play many movies. It's interesting, and Jimmy Reardon, that was his name, but I can't remember how it was. It The Life and Times, or was it A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon? Let's look up River Phoenix and see what movies he was in. Oh, Stand By Me. How could I ever forget that? My Own Private Idaho. How could I forget that? Indiana Jones and something. I don't remember that. Running on Empty. Thing Called Love. Oh, Explorers. I loved that movie so much when I was a kid. The Mosquito Coast. Sneakers was such a great movie. Here it is. A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. Dogfight. I didn't love that movie. Stand By Me. Loved it. Some of these movies I didn't. He and I had like the same haircut, and I can remember like wearing my hair like Jimmy Reardon, like in that movie. And then when he had, you're not gonna be able to see it, but like when he had the hair that was like over to one side, I wore my hair like that, and people used to say that I looked like him. I remember like that was like the first like big celebrity for me, I think. I always ask myself this question, like, who was the first celebrity for me that, like, it was, like, such a big deal when they died? It probably was River Phoenix. I can remember that. I can remember, like, he being at the Viper Room with his brother, you know, Joaquin, and Joaquin, like, calling 911, and his brother, like, I think he died of GHB or something like that. It was, like, some kind of overdose. And he had dated Martha Plimpton from the Goonies for years, and I loved Martha Plimpton. I still love her. And, it just was so tragic and sad, you know? At that time, we didn't see young people. Young people weren't dying the way that they die today. I mean, it's really, you know, an epidemic in our country right now. People dying of overdoses and drug-related deaths and things like that. But we didn't see that back in 1993 the way that we do today. Like, at all. Like, I can remember it just being, like, this huge shock. And, seemed surreal. I can't remember the last time, like, it's like almost kind of like, it's weird because I can remember I would like religiously watch like some of his movies, and other than like Stand By Me, because I feel like I've seen that movie so many times. Running on Empty is where his family's in the witness relocation program and they like run on the, you know, they're running away. But other than those movies, like, I can hear him in Stand By Me just because I've seen that movie so many times. I mean, his voice kind of never changed over the years. It got deeper, obviously, but it never, like, the intonation of it never really changed. I think his parents were, like, missionaries from, like, Venezuela or something like that. I think, like, he is, like, well, there's Joaquin, and then his sister Rain, and then I feel like there's another brother. Summer Phoenix. Is there a Summer Phoenix, a sister? And then I feel like there's another brother, and they're all like in movies and stuff. Anyway, I think Joaquin Phoenix is extremely handsome. A little bit out there. A little bit out there, though. But extremely handsome. It's so interesting, like, when I sit out here at night, like, sometimes I look at my plants and I think my flowers aren't doing very well. Like, they just don't look like they're doing that great. And then during the day, like, when Alex was, like, pulling out to take me to the grocery store tonight, I, like, looked at him and I said, our plants look so beautiful on the front porch. Like, they're doing so well this summer. I mean, it's July 1st and they're still just, like, exploding all over the place. So I don't know, maybe it's the time of day or something like that. But, oh, somebody asked me about my neighbor watering her plants so much, and they said that they would be interested to see if there was like rot on her plants. I can tell you there's not, because she has already talked to me about watering your plants too much and having rot on your plants. She talked to me about it with her peonies. I just said something about that in a vlog the other day. So she's a master gardener, and but what she does is, like, she has like a system. So, like, some of her plants she'll water at certain times a day, and, like, other plants she waters. Like, she knows which plants need to be watered at certain times. And she has, like, this sprinkler. It's, like, a really small sprinkler that just kind of, like, puts out, like, a little bit. She, like, moves it around, like, at different times a day. And then she also goes out there with, like, a fertilizer, and she'll, like, fertilize certain things. And that's different than when she waters it. So, no, it's gorgeous over there. It really is. Like, she knows what she's doing. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I actually wanted to answer a couple. I was just kind of looking through the comments tonight, and I wanted to answer a couple comments. I want to make sure this battery doesn't die. A couple comments on the vlog, and these are from even just the last day. So somebody said Anne Bancroft. Okay, so I was trying to figure out who the actress was that was in Night Mother and 84 Charing Cross Road, and it was Anne Bancroft. So this person said, Anne Bancroft, I've watched 84 Charing Cross Road dozens of times. She was fantastic in The Graduate. She played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate. I liked her in Agnes of God as well, but that was Fonda and Tilly's movies, so to speak. What is so funny about that is when I think of Anne Bancroft, who is like one of my favorite actresses, I just always forget her name. I don't know why. So thank you for that. To Edgar Allan Poe, which I think is such a cute profile name. Whenever I think of Anne Bancroft, like, I typically do think of Night Mother and Agnes of God. And Agnes of God is honestly like one of my favorite movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and has really taught me a lot about spirituality and conviction. And if you've never seen it, I think it's based on a true story. Jane Fonda plays a journalist in Canada. Well, no. She plays a person working for like the State Department in Canada, I believe. And Meg Tilly plays a nun that has gotten pregnant at this convent. And so Jane Fonda is supposed to go out there and investigate this pregnancy. And the supreme mother of the whatever you call that, of the convent, is played by Anne Bancroft, and she maintains that, okay, the battery's gonna die. Hold on, I'm gonna go change the battery. Okay, I'm back. I just thought that I deleted the previous part, and I was like, oh my god. And I went and looked, and I hadn't deleted the previous part, but I was like, did I just delete the previous part? Anyway, so Jane Fonda goes out to investigate this pregnancy. I can't remember under what conditions or whatever, and Anne Bancroft maintains that it's like a miracle, like, pregnancy, you know. And Meg Tilly kind of hints at this as well. And so it's this, and Jane Fonda is like an atheist, and she has like a history as to why she's an atheist. It's like a family thing. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, because you really should see this movie. It is really that fantastic. And it's basically this whole idea of like, what do you believe when you're a non-believer, and like, can you be convinced otherwise of any kind of spiritual, like, could it be a miracle, could it not be a miracle, what happened, and whatever. And you find out in the movie what happens, but it's like what do you do, like, when you go in and like you're being thrown this idea that you can't wrap your head around at all. It's very interesting. And 84 Charing Cross Road is fantastic. That's with her and, why can't I think of the guy? Anthony Hopkins. And it's a really, really good movie. I might have to buy those and have those in my library, my iTunes library, those two. I might have to buy Agnes of God. I think I already have, I bought A Night Mother already. I might have to have Agnes of God and 84 Charing Cross Road. I haven't watched 84 Charing Cross Road, and it has been probably like maybe the first year I got sober or something like that. I don't even remember how long it's been out. So thank you, Edgar Allan Poe, for letting me know that. I appreciate it. Let's see. Sierra said, I'm finally caught up on your vlogs. About time, Sierra. No, I'm joking. Thank you for catching up on them. Let's see. Hold on a second. Oh, Catherine said, Peter, I bought some jerky sauce from Publix. It's so good. I wish that, like, our grocery stores here had the Jerky's mustard. They don't. I can't find it anywhere here. So I had to buy it on Amazon, and it was extremely expensive on Amazon. I can't imagine that mustard. It was like $9.99 or something like that, but it makes me so happy, and I put it on my sandwiches. I think it's funny because, so I have these like fond memories of making turkey sandwiches on whole wheat bread, like big thick whole wheat bread, and cheese, and jerky mustard at my dad's house in the summers, and then I would like eat it with like a glass of milk or juice or something. And then I can remember sitting like at his island in his kitchen. He had these like high top chairs, and I would come in from like the swimming pool And either he and I would make them, or I would make these sandwiches or make the sandwich just for myself. And then I would have like a bag of like the Kettle barbecue chips. I think that was what triggered me to get them the other day. And so like eating this again, it was like tonight, like I went straight from eating the sandwich so I could taste the jerky's mustard to the potato chips. And it was like, I mean, it took me back to being a kid again. It was like the weirdest thing. So I hope you enjoy it. Stacy said the HOA drama is real this evening. It is always real over here. She also said, I'm still waiting on HOA president, pageant, queen of the world merch. Becky said, oh, Peter, if you moved in my neighborhood, I would bring you a casserole, even a vegetarian one. That's how we do it in the Midwest, right? I agree. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ariel said, Midnight Mass would be a good one to start. It's only one season, unlike Ozark, so a lot less to get through. Plus, it's super eerie. I love the location of it. Very Salem's Lot, Stephen King feel. That's kind of what I was thinking. Plus, I was asking, like, if there was a season 2. I think I said it on a vlog, and a couple of you answered, and I asked somebody else. And they're like, no, but you don't need a season 2 because it kind of wraps up nicely with a season 1. And I do not think that it got renewed, actually. I don't think there needs to be one. So this is Joanne, and she said, your neighbors crack me up in your interest. And then she said, I have a question. Pride Month on HBO has Birdcage and Brokeback Mountain. I rewatched both. Actually, didn't finish Brokeback. I had watched both before. I do not understand Brokeback. I turned it off because it didn't look like love. Does it to you? The Birdcage, I think, had funny parts, but now that I'm old, is it funny? Great acting. Just wondering. I think it's an interesting question, you know, and I've seen, obviously, both of the movies. I've seen both of them several times. Little interesting fact, when my mom passed away, in her DVD player or VCR or whatever she had at the time, I can't even remember, was Brokeback Mountain. It was one of my mom's favorite movies. My mom loved Brokeback Mountain, and she loved Fight Club. Those were two of her favorite movies. Or was it Fight Club that was in the VCR? I'm not remembering, but she owned like 2 copies of each, like on VCR or DVD or something like that. I feel like maybe she didn't have a DVD player, so it would have been just a VCR. My mom loved Brokeback Mountain so much. You know, I can remember going to see it in the movie theater. I waited a little while before, like after it came out. I think like a week or 2 or something like that before I went to the movie theater. And I remember it being a real mix in the audience of like, you know, like straight and gay couples. And I remember some people leaving, probably being offended. I wouldn't say it was like mass amounts of people leaving. But I remember people leaving. And I don't know. I think it's a really, really sad movie. I think, you know, to look at it, you have to understand the time period that they were in. You also have to understand, well, first of all, I read the book later. It was like novella by Annie Proulx. And she's won like Pulitzer Prizes. I don't think she won for Brokeback Mountain, but Shipping News is another one that she wrote. Fantastic writer. So for like Booktubeathon one year, I read Brokeback Mountain, and it's a novella because I was reading all books that then had movies. And it's a little bit different than the movie. It doesn't go into the whole, like it goes into some of Jake Gyllenhaal's character being married, but it doesn't go into the whole part of it. Like in everything that happened supposedly and all this kind of stuff. You know, when you look at that time period in our country, and there were no out people, and the whole idea of masculinity, okay, that they had this attraction to each other that was physical, that then turned into this emotional attraction, this love, you know, that, like, the part that, like, would just get my mom so greatly was, like, when at the end, I think his name was Ennis, he would like open, you know, that locker that he had, and he would take out that shirt, you know, and it just, like, it was pure love. Like, it was a deep internal love on a level that was so painful for him, that he couldn't like move past it. And I can remember my mom, like when she saw that movie, like I think everything she felt and everything she believed like clicked for her, and she really understood it on a deeper level. And if you look at heterosexual couples, it's not really a whole lot different. That I think most of us are attracted at first physically, and we think somebody's cute or pretty and we want to be together with them, and then it's like butterflies in our stomach and we want to be kissed, but like at that point it was like their way of making sense about it was this common bond through sexual release. And I do think it's a very sexualized movie, but I think that's how they made sense of it. And the difficulty when you look at it was for Jake Gyllenhaal's character. He could never imagine a world where he would live in it. He could never conceptualize a world where he and Ennis could be together. He even said to him at one point, like, let's, I think go off and be together or whatever. And just like, they didn't live in a world where that existed. As somebody that grew up where there were out people, my mom had friends that were out. I just didn't think it was possible for me, and so when I see movies like that, like I get it, like I understand, and that was the difficulty of that movie and of that story was like, how do we at one point they're discussing, I think, something like, let's just live on this ranch and it'll just be us. And they're like, the other one's like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no world that we live in where that could actually happen, I haven't seen the movie actually in quite some time. The movie makes me very sad. I think it's very real. I think there are many parts of the world and in our country where that still exists today. That idea of machismo and that need and that desire to continue to live a life by what other people want and desire and need from you. But I don't think, my mom always said to me the movie was a story of love, that it really didn't, it broke all bounds. So it wasn't really about, what do you call it? It wasn't like necessarily just a gay movie. It was a movie about love. And that was the important thing to understand. There are many couples that can't be together, whether it's for religious differences or whether it's for families that don't like each other or whatever reasons, that couples can't be together. And that's really what the movie is about. What do you do with that, What do you do with that when you love somebody so deeply from the bottom of your heart, and yet you can't act on that love and live it out? So, The Birdcage is an interesting movie. I think I watched that movie for many years just thinking it was kind of a funny movie. And then there was one time that I watched it and it hurt so deeply. I don't know why. Do you ever watch, like, you can watch a movie or hear a song and like it never affects you this one way, and then there's that one time you hear it and it's like that's the time that it affects you? I was watching The Birdcage one time, and this was probably, 10 or 15 years ago. And just the embarrassment that the son has. Really, like, I'm nobody's joke. I laugh at myself, I flip a fan, I tell jokes, whatever. But at the end of the day, I control the joke. I control how much I'm going to allow myself to be made fun of today. And maybe it was because I was bullied for so long and I didn't control the joke back in the day. But that's painful. Like, I don't feel that from my family and friends. My family and friends never make me feel that way, And, I don't know, I felt it on a level, like, I've had friends like that before that are just real flamboyant, and I'm by no means the most masculine person in the world. I'm, pretty effeminate, but I think, like, I'm talking, like, way more than me, and I've seen, like, friends in common or family members look at them, like, in a way like, oh my God, like, I'm so embarrassed right now. You should be ashamed of yourself if you feel that way. you know? That is a person that is bringing positivity, happiness, and love to the world. You're embarrassed of that? I don't know, it makes me sad. So sometimes that movies change, you know, like I can remember my mom back in the day, like, you know, she listened to Bob Dylan and Judy Collins and Joan Baez and Joni Mitchell and stuff, and, you know, even like Fleetwood Mac. And later in life she didn't listen to that stuff, and I can remember I said to her one time, I said, why don't you listen to the stuff that you used to listen to, because I loved that music, you know. I said, you don't ever listen to that music that you used to listen to in your youth. And she's like, she didn't say it like this, but it kind of hits different, you know. It's like the older that you get, like it kind of makes you sad, like it doesn't feel the same way, you know. So anyway, interesting question. Thank you for that, Joanne. I think that might have been my last one that I wanted to. Megan said, I was doing this last night with my husband. He never comes with to walk the dogs, but he actually did last night, so I had to catch him up on all the neighborhood gossip as each neighbor walked by. Well, first of all, Alex doesn't care. I mean, like, he just really doesn't care. I tell him stuff all the time. I'm like, now, you know so-and-so that lives 2 houses down. He's like, and he's like on his phone playing his game, and he's like, and I'm like, well, she was at the pool today, and let me tell you something. And he's just like, I mean, he could care less. He really doesn't care. I think he gets a kick out of the fact that I get a kick out of it, but I don't think other than that, like, you know, it's like, he's like, I'm whatever, you do you. If like you know, it's funny because like when I'm at the pool, like with him, like the other day, he will, like, if I'm talking to the neighbors, like, I think it intrigues him, like, how I know certain people, because I'll say to people, like, oh, how are you, you know, how's your daughter, you know, Judy Smith, and, oh, really, her kids aren't up here today, and I think it kind of, like, it intrigues him, like, how I know so much about the neighbors, or, like, you know, I'll say to somebody, I didn't see you walking last night, or whatever. I think he gets a kick out of that. Alex talks to neighbors too. I mean, like, our neighbors right around here, like, he talks to them, and like our neighbor across the street, like, you know, they exchange hot sauces, and our neighbor next door, like, Alex talks to them quite a bit, and so yeah, our neighbor, you know, next door on the other side, like, she's out on her back patio a lot, so when Alex is out there taking the dog, he'll, like, talk to her, and I talk to her out there and stuff. But no, he's like, he just doesn't get into the gossip of the neighborhood because he could care less about all that. So, which is so funny, I think. I think it just kind of makes me feel like I'm part of it, you know? I think that's really what it is that I feel like I'm part of the neighborhood. It's really not a whole lot deeper than that. I just am like, oh my God, I'm part of the neighborhood, and, you know, like, I don't know what it is. But I didn't feel this way before. And it's all silly gossip. That's the thing. It's like, you know, it kind of reminds me of like the gossip on the street when I was a kid. It's kind of like so-and-so didn't trim their shrubs, and did you hear that the HOA director is really upset about that? Oh yeah, they put a vote. It's going to be on the next voting ballot and stuff like, I mean, it's kind of funny stuff like that. So it's not like anything real deep, you know, where, I don't know, it's not anything like real deep where anybody would get like real upset about it. It's just kind of silly stuff, you know? But I think maybe they get upset about it because, you know, to them it's like, oh, well, they didn't trim their shrubs, blah, 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 whatever. The thing that's so interesting about this is when anybody gets upset about like the landscaping in our neighborhood, it's like our landscaping is so well maintained. Like each person's yard, especially this summer, like each person's yard is so well maintained, and the walkways are beautiful and everything like that, and like the common neighborhoods, like the trees and everything like that, are absolutely beautiful. I mean, I live in a beautiful neighborhood. What's interesting about this, and I can't believe that nobody's complained about this yet, is due to a lack of rain, and we have no water systems or irrigation systems or anything. Irrigation, is that what you said? You say, but anyway, our lawns are like brown, like they're dead, they're dying, and I really can't believe that nobody's complaining about it yet. So, and at night, nobody, I don't know if it's like a rule in the bylaws or something, but like she puts a sprinkler out like for her little walkway, but it's like real small. It's like a really small sprinkler. Like I don't see anybody that has sprinkler systems like out in their yard for their yards. I don't know, maybe you're not supposed to. I know like in certain states, like depending on a temperature, or you're only allowed to do it from this hour to this hour or whatever, temperature wise. But if you go right outside of our neighborhood, like every yard has a sprinkler system, and their yards are like green and lush. So that's not true around, I mean, that's not Indiana, that you can't do that. I don't think. If that's the case, they're all of them violating that rule, but I don't think that's the case. So I kind of don't know why we're not doing our yards in here, but like I'm looking at my yard right now and it's like brown. I mean, it's like greenish, but like light greenish brown. It's dead. She dead, girl. She's dead. So anyway, all right, you guys, listen, I'm gonna get off here now and watch some TV shows. What time is it? Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday. I love you. Don't forget these 3 important things. Number 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. Number 2, practice random acts of kindness. Just don't tell anyone. Just do it to put some goodness out there in the world. Number 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And I love you guys. I love you. I'm reaching out to you and telling you how much you mean to me. Thank you so much for watching this. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.